Hello students, we have started with the hazardous waste. In the previous class we discussed about what is the definition of hazardous waste. So why the waste is called as hazardous? So it refers to the hazardous waste refers to the waste which cause or tend to cause the adverse health effect on the ecosystem and the human beings, so we call them as hazardous waste. So these are called as hazardous because they are non biodegradable, or they are persistent in nature, and they can be biologically magnified, and they are highly toxic, and so we call them as hazardous waste. Then we have discussed the classification of hazardous waste, that is like radioactive substances, chemicals, biomedicals waste, then flammable waste, explosive, household waste. So these are some of the categories of the waste or classification of the hazardous waste. Today we will discuss what are the characteristics of hazardous waste. So for a waste to be called as a hazardous waste, so it must cause, or it will significantly contribute to an increased mortality, or an increase in the serious irreversible illness, or it will cause substantial hazards or threat of hazard to the human health or even to the environment when it is improperly treated, or it is while sorting or during transportation, disposal, or when it is mismanaged, so it may cause the hazards. So handling and all of the hazardous waste is also very important. So we'll discuss the characteristics of hazardous waste. So the first character is ignitability. So what is ignitability? It is something related to which catches the fire. So when a waste is ignitable hazardous waste, if it has a flash point of less than 60 degrees centigrade, that is, it readily catches fire and it burns so vigorously as to create a hazard. So it is called as the property is called as ignitability, or it is ignitable compressed gas or an oxidizer that will cause fire. So a simple method of determining flash point of a waste is to review the material safety data sheet, which you can obtain from manufacturer or the distributor of the material. So few examples of the ignitable materials or the waste are epoxy resins, the adhesives, and the oil based paints. They are all the examples of ignitable hazardous waste. Then the next character is corrosivity. So corrosivity means a liquid waste which has a pH of less than or equal to 2 or greater than or equal to 12.5, or which corrodes the steel at a rate greater than 6.5 mm per year. So if a waste is corroding, okay, means it is forming a layer of corrosion at a very faster rate, okay, greater rate than 6.35 mm per year if it is causing a layer, and at a temperature of 55 degrees centigrade, that waste is considered to as corrosive hazardous waste. So for example, the sodium hydroxide, a caustic solution with high pH, they are used by many industries to clean or clean the metal parts, okay. Then the hydrochloric acid, that is a solution with low pH, that is also used by many industries to clean the metal parts prior to the painting, okay. So because it should not cause the corrosion. So when these caustic or acid solutions are disposed of, the waste is called as the corrosive hazardous waste. So then the next characteristic is the reactivity. So the material is considered as a reactive hazardous waste if it is unstable, if it reacts violently with water, if it generates the toxic gases when exposed to the water or corrosive materials, or if it is capable of detonation, or if it is causing explosion when exposed to the heat or flame. So then it is called as a reactive waste. So for example, the waste that would be gunpowder or the sodium metal, or the waste containing cyanide, which is again a explosive material, or the sulfides. So the waste which are generating from TNT operation. TNT is again a explosive, that is trinitrotoluene. So such operations or they used cyanide solvents. So all these are the examples of reactive hazardous solid waste. Then the next property or characteristic is toxicity. So the waste which releases toxic materials on leaching in sufficient amount to pose a substantial hazard to human health or environment, they are called as the hazardous waste. So they are measured by TCLP, that stands for toxicity characteristic leaching procedure. So with the help of that, it can be measured, the toxicity of the waste can be measured. So these are likely to leach dangerous concentration of toxic chemicals into groundwater. So to determine if a waste is a toxic hazardous waste, a representative sample of the material that can be subjected to a test which is conducted in certified laboratories. So if you send a sample for testing, you will get the results whether it is causing toxicity or no. So these are all the characteristics of hazardous waste. Next we'll see how these hazardous waste are stored and collected. So when the large quantity of waste are generated, special facilities are used that have sufficient capacity to hold the waste which is accumulated over a period of several days. So when the large quantity of waste is generated, you need to have a special facility, okay, that is used to have a sufficient capacity to hold the waste which is accumulated over a period of several days. Then if the amount is small, okay, if the waste generated amount is small, the waste can be containerized and a limited quantity may be stored, and these containers and facilities are used in hazardous waste storage and handling are selected on the basis of the waste characteristics. For example, corrosive acids or the caustic solutions, they are stored in fiberglass or the glass, which is a glass lined containers, to prevent the deterioration of the metals in the container. So the great care must also be taken to avoid the storing incapabilities of the waste in the same container or location. So this is how the storage of the hazardous waste is done. So this figure shows the different containers or a typical drum container which is used for the storage of the hazardous waste. So the first container is light gauge closed head drum, and the next is the light gauge open head drum. So in the first one the drum is closed, and in the second one the drum is open. So this type of containers are used, special containers are used for storage of hazardous waste. So the waste which is generated, a specialized hauler generally which collects the hazardous waste for a delivery to a treatment or a disposal site. The loading of the collection vehicle is completed in either of the following ways. So one way is the waste which is stored in large capacity tanks. They are either drained or they are pumped into the collection vehicles. Or the one more way is the waste which is stored in the sealed drums or the sealed containers. They are loaded by hand or by mechanical equipments onto the flatbed trucks. So in the previous module we have seen the different type of vehicles which are used for the collection of the waste or transport of the waste. So the flatbed trucks are used for the transport of the hazardous waste from the point of collection to the final disposal site. Then the stored containers which are transported, they are unopened to the treatment and disposal facility. So to avoid any accidents and the possible loss of life, the two collectors should be assigned when the hazardous waste are to be collected. Then the equipments which are used for collection, they vary with the waste characteristics. Sometimes they use glass lined containers, fiberglass lined containers. Depending upon waste, the equipments which are used for collection, they vary. So the waste characteristics and the typical collection equipments, they are listed in the table here. So the equipments for collection of hazardous waste, so there are different waste categories are given: radioactive substances, toxic chemicals, biological waste, flammable waste and explosive. So what type of containers are used for the collection of such hazardous waste? So for radioactive substances, you can use various types of trucks and railroad equipments depending upon the characteristics of waste. Special marking to show the safety hazards, heavy loading equipments to handle the concentrate in encased lead containers. So uh, concrete encased lead containers. So different types of equipments which are lined with concrete are also used for radioactive substances. Then if you take the toxic chemicals, flatbed trucks again, for the waste which is stored in drums. So the drums itself directly transferred into the tractor trailer, the tank truck, which is a combination for large volume of the waste, the railroad tank cars, special interior lining such as glass, fiberglass or rubber. So such vehicles are used for toxic chemicals. Then the next is biological waste. So the standard packers collection trucks with special precautions to prevent the contact between the waste and the collector. Then flatbed trucks for the waste stored in drums, they are used for biological waste. Then flammable waste, same as toxic chemicals with special coloring and safety warning printed on the vehicles are used. Then for explosive, same as toxic chemicals with some restrictions on transport routes, especially through the residential area, because they are very likely to catch fire or they are explosive. So you have to take care when you select the route for the uh, disposal of explosive waste. So it should not go from the residential area. So such precautionary measures along with the uh, vehicles which are used for the collection of the waste, if you take, then the proper handling of the hazardous waste is possible.